Hey, Happy Stampers. I'm Katie Lay with Katie's Happy Stampers, and I'm here to bring you episode 1 of Masculine Mondays. We all know that masculine cards are very hard to create. I'm actually kind of nervous that I've committed myself to this challenge, but I am committed to this challenge, and I am going to come up with a masculine card every Monday this year. So here's our first card. This is using the Trusty Toolbox kit. It's got the Trusty Tools stamp set and the Trusty Tools dies. And then we have the Trusty Tools paper. And in the Designer Series paper, you have Basic Black, Copper Clay, Crushed Curry, Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, and Poppy Parade. Okay, and these are the papers, and a lot of the dies will cut out the shapes of these tools. As you can see, I've cut some out and used some, and this is one side of the paper. And then this one has like a grid on it. This one, I used the saw blade, you can see, and I conserved by using the end piece here, so that way I wasn't wasting one of the whole saw blades. And that one has, it looks like just a watercolor wash in the Lost Lagoon on the back. Okay, and this one is one of my favorites. It looks like a tape measure, and on the back it has what looks like the pegboard for your tools to hang on. This is one we'll be using today, and it looks like it's got screws and nuts and bolts on it. And on the back of this one, it looks like the red toolbox. You know, my husband has one of these toolboxes in his garage right now. And this one is with Crushed Curry, and you can see it has the little screws on it, or actually those are the hammers. Little hammers crisscrossed, and on the back it's got like flathead screws, you know, Phillips screws, all different kinds of nuts and bolts on that one. This one is cute. It's got a bunch of little screwdrivers in the Poppy Parade, and on the back it's got a watercolor wash in the Basic Gray or Gray Granite. Okay? So that's the paper, and the good thing about this is a celebration item. During the months of January and February, you can, if you purchase $50 in product, you can get this paper absolutely free. And the good thing is if you order the Trusty Tools bundle, you automatically earn that product for free. Plus, I offer, for a $50 purchase from my online store, I will send you a free surprise gift just for ordering $50 on my store. That's above and beyond what Stampin' Up! Offers with the free paper. So that's that thing. Then, we also have a joining special right now. And with that joining special, you will get this glass mat, which comes with I'm getting it out here, this chamois to clean it with, and this silicone mat. And with that, you can put inks and things to do watercoloring. It also will hold your stamp pads so they don't slide around so much and get away from you. But you can also watercolor right on this, and it cleans up very easily with the chamois. I haven't even gotten mine wet yet, but you just get this wet and then just clean it right up. So, but that's the free gift for this year. And I can say I joined last year during Celebration, and I earned this mini Stampin' Cut and Boss machine, which we will be using later in this video. So that is the joining special. And what the joining special consists of is you will sign up for Stampin' Up! For $99. You will get $125 worth of product. And it's any product of your choice, whether it be stamp sets, papers, tools, you know, whatever. But then you will also, on top of that, get this glass mat package absolutely free. So it's an awesome deal. There's another option as far as joining, and for the $99, if you choose not to get the glass mat, they will take $35 off of your price of your joining special. So you can contact me if you'd like to be a member of my Happy Stampers team, and I would love to have you and love to help you out with that. So let's get stamping with our card. And let me pick up everything that I dropped a second ago so that it's up here and handy. Okay, so the first things we're gonna need, I'm gonna give you the products and the dimensions. We're gonna need a card base cut at 4 1/4 by 7, and we score that at 1 1/2 to make the top portion of our card. Then we are going to need, I've got everything here in this little bag so that I didn't lose anything, as I am definitely a messy crafter, and I lose things on a regular basis. So then we are going to need 1 piece of the Lost Lagoon, and that's going to be at 4 1/4 by 1 1/2, and that's going to go down here to form our split form. Then we are going to need 2 pieces of Poppy Parade cut at 4 by 1 1/4, and those will go later on this. Then we are going to need 2 pieces of the little screw pattern, and those are cut at 3 7/8 by 1 1/4, and those will layer on each of these. These nails, sometimes they're pretty, but they get in the way. So that's gonna layer like that. Then we are going to need 1 piece of Poppy Parade, and this is cut at 5 1/4 by 4, and that's gonna go on the inside of the card. And 1 piece of Basic White, and I keep putting everything upside down. It's gonna be cut at 5 by 3 3/4. Then for our piece of it to join the 2 panels together, the Poppy Parade is 3 by 4, and then we're gonna need a piece of Basic White at 2 3/4 by 3/4. Then this is that little tape measure piece, and that piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 1/2. I'm gonna set a lot of this to the side and take our dimensions off so that way we can put things together. Okay. Thought I had my water far enough out of the way. I guess I'd have to set it over on a whole different table for it to be out of my way. I'd be sure to knock it over. Okay. So here's our little pieces that where I've cut out of that designer series paper that we're gonna cut stuff out of. And you can see that there isn't a die for the saw, so I fussy cutted that out ahead of time. And you can see I used the one with the straight edge that was partially off of the paper. So that's got that ready to go. So now we can start putting our pieces together. Okay, so we're gonna start with this piece right here. And you can use whatever glue you like. I tend to use the liquid glue because I like that. And we're gonna take a piece of the Poppy Parade and put it on that Lost Lagoon. The trick is don't get too heavy with the glue. Make it nice thin, but make sure it's good and covered. Okay, and then we're gonna center that up as best we can there, to where you see a little bit of the border of the Lost Lagoon coming across it. Then we're gonna take our piece of the screws paper and nuts and bolts. I think that's what they're called, screws and nuts and bolts. And we're gonna put that like that and center that up so you can see just the tiny border of red. Okay, and then for this one, this is going to be that green piece. We are gonna take this and put just a little bit of glue on this. And this is gonna go on top here. And press it down. The liquid glue tends to give you just a little bit of wiggle room if you don't get things quite straight. Some of the other glues, that once they're down, a lot of times they're down. You can usually get some of them up, but I just like the liquid glue because it gives me that little bit of wiggle room to get things straightened out. So there you can see that's gonna be our card, and this is gonna go down here like this, okay? And I'm gonna use my bone folder to get this to where it will lay down a little bit better. I probably should have did that before I glued the pieces down, but it'll work. I'm gonna turn it over and give it a good crease on both sides, okay? And there, you can see that lays down a little bit better. Okay, now we can lay these pieces to the side. Well, actually, let's bring this back and we will do our inside piece. And what we are gonna do here is we are gonna get our Lost Lagoon, and we are gonna get our little nuts and bolts out of the stamp set. And we are gonna stamp up here in the corner the little nuts and bolts, and then down here in the corner the little nuts and bolts. I kind of messed up. I'm gonna turn this over and try again. I didn't quite get that screw done, the top of the screw. There, that's better. That's the trick. As the paper, it's got two sides. If you mess up, you can always turn it over. And then I clean my stamps with what's called the Stamp and Chamois. You just wipe it on there, and it's silicone, or not a silicone, microfiber cloth that you can clean your stamps with. So that's done, and it's good to clean your stamps right away so that way they don't get stained. But sometimes they get stained whether you clean them or not. Okay, then we're gonna get this, is the stamp set called Throughout the Year, and we're gonna use the happiest of birthdays, because as you can see, the Trusty Tool set, it has some awesome sentiments, but it's more for Father's Day or thank you. It's got thank you, Dad, happy Father's Day, and you're the most awesome. So, and I'm gonna be using the you're the most awesome, but I'm gonna put happiest of birthdays because I'm not making a Father's Day card just yet. Might make a Father's Day card later, but not right now. Okay, so then we are gonna get that, and I don't know if you noticed, the Trusty Tools stamp set is the photopolymer, and the Throughout the Year is a red rubber cling stamp, so they're just a little bit different. The photopolymer, you can see that you can see through the stamps so that you can place it where you want it. And the red rubber has a cushion, and it kind of helps it to stamp without the assistance of the Stamp and Pierce mat, which I usually have out here, but I don't today. But my stamp came out pretty good. Okay, so now I'm tapping this. Just tapping it lightly. I'm going to set that aside so I don't get ink on anything. And then we're going to stamp in the center, happiest of birthdays. And the trick is you don't want to rock your stamp. Press straight down and straight back up, and it makes such a pretty image. With the red rubber, it's usually very crisp image. Okay, so that's got that stamped. Okay, now we're gonna join these two together. I'll put just a little bit up there in that corner. I like to make sure the corners are down good. That way there's no lifting on the corners. And the trick is not to put too much glue so that it doesn't ooze out everywhere. See there? Just had a little bit of glue on each corner to where and that's lined up. Then we can take this and put this on the inside of the card. And the same here with getting the corners. But it's a very thin line so that way it doesn't ooze. Okay. Line that up. Looks good. And then press it down. Okay. Okay, so then now you can kind of see how this is coming along here. Now we're gonna take this, and this is where we're gonna build our images. And we're gonna glue this down. Let's see, did I stamp on this first? Let me see. Yeah. We're gonna stamp on this first. Okay. So again, with the little screws and the Lost Lagoon ink, just right up in each of these corners. To tie in the screws. Okay. And then now we can attach this to the Poppy Parade. Okay. Now that looks straight. Press it down. Okay, then we're going to take our little piece of the tape measure. Okay. And line it up exactly with the white on the bottom. Then we're going to take our little saw piece and this is why I used the one that was cut off, because I'm going to butt it right up against that so that way that piece wasn't wasted. And you can still tell that that's a saw blade. Okay, now is when we're going to start using our dies and our mini cut and emboss machine. Okay, so this is our mini cut and emboss machine, like I said, and we're going to get our dies out. Okay, and let me show you the dies, what we have. There's all kinds of dies in this set. I don't even know what most of them are. My husband would have to tell me, but I see a hammer and another piece of a hammer, paintbrushes, This is part of a drill, I think, and here's the rest of the drill. This is the little pegboard, and I think this thing makes a toolbox. Here's our little nuts and bolts that we can cut out. I think this makes a pair of pliers. I mean, there's just a lot in this set of dies. I mean, you definitely are getting your money's worth with this set. So the ones we are going to use, and I always try to keep my dies in a little magnet bowl so that I don't lose them. The ones we're going to use is the tape measure, the hammer, the little pencil, and this little wrench. And I had to ask my husband what that was. He said it's a wrench. So I'm telling you the right things. Okay, so then we are going to take this. It's going to be what we're going to cut all those pieces out of. Okay, so these are the plates that come with our mini stamp and cut and emboss machine. And we're going to use these. We're going to make our sandwich out of that. And the way I like to do it is I'm going to take my cutting plate, which is this one, because you can see it's got little scratches in it. And I'm going to lay this on here. And I'm going to take my dies. And this is the wrench. So I'm going to cut it out here. And you line it up like so. And I like to use this Post-it note tape. And you can use it over and over again. And I probably have some stuck to my stamp and cut and emboss machine because I use it over and over again. But you line it up and just kind of tape it down so that it's holding still. Okay? And then we're going to be able to cut out more than one thing at a time. So let's cut out our hammer. I think we should have room to do our hammer. That don't look like it's lined up right. There. Maybe we'll have room to do our hammer. Maybe not. Let's wait and do our hammer later. Okay, so then we're going to make our sandwich, and you use base plate 1 and cutting plate 2, and then you make your sandwich with another cutting plate 2. Okay? And then we're going to bring in our mini stamp and cut and emboss machine. Open that up. Then we are going to run it through. Okay. Set it aside a little bit so we can get it off. And as you can see, we've got our wrench cut out. Now we'll set that aside and we'll do our, now this time I know we can do our hammer and our tape measure at the same time. So there's our hammer. Got it lined up and taped down. Then let's get the tape measure. And we can line it up. And like I said, I had some on my machine. So there, I'm going to tape that down. And then we're going to try to do a threefer on this one. We're going to get our pencil and line it up right down here and get the little die and line it up. Okay, and then tape it down. Okay, so there we've got all 3 pieces in our sandwich. Okay, so then we'll bring this back in and we're gonna run it through. You hear it popping and cracking, that shows that it's cutting. When I first started stamping and got my first one, it was the Big Shot. And when that thing started popping and cracking, I thought I was breaking it for sure. But I was assured that I wasn't, and I've had that same Big Shot for probably 10 years. And it still works like a champ. It's a workhorse in my craft room. So there's that. And my hammer. Put those in my thing so I don't lose them. And here's my pencil. And like I said, this is a good investment too, because when you're a crafter and your craft room gets messy, you know, and you start losing dies, you can see I still have some in there from a previous project, but at least they're in there. They're not going to get lost. And I got that off of Amazon. It's just a magnetic bowl. And I got this off of Amazon. So there's our little pieces, and there's our little pieces for our I'm going to bring this back in. Okay. And we are going to glue these down. I'm looking for my dimensionals because I will need them at the end of this. Where are they? Like I said, I'm a messy crafter. They ran away. We may not be using dimensionals. Who knows? Oh, there they are. I found them. Okay. We're good. We're good to go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to use is do our little wrench. But we're going to put that down with glue. We're going to use our liquid glue. Okay, and you don't need a lot. And it's going to go right about there. So you can kind of see them saw teeth out the side. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to put down our hammer. Like that. It's going to go just like so. Then we're going to take our little skinny pencil. Put just a little bit of glue. And it's gonna go just like that. Okay, then this is where the dimensionals comes in. And these are Stampin' Dimensionals. We're gonna put the tape measure up on dimensionals. We'll close our glue and put it in that, okay? And I like to use my Take Your Pick tool for this. This is what's called our Take Your Pick tool. And it has like a spatula end and a pick end, and then on this end, if I can get it off, it's got a putty tip to where you can pick things up. And for people like me with these fancy nails, that is another lifesaver in my craft room. Okay? And also picking up these dimensionals. Put one there. And one there. And then I want to get, this is what our mini dimensionals, and they are even a little too big for this piece of the tape measure, so I'm going to take a little snip and make a very thin strip of the dimensionals off of the edge. That way there's no waste. And we're going to put it right there on that little edge, okay? Oops, get it right, there we go. Now, we can take the backings off our Stampin' Dimensionals. And I use my Take Your Pick tool for that too. Just pull them off. And then we're gonna put this just like that. Okay? So that's got our, then we are gonna take this and we're gonna glue it to the top up here and line this one. This one will be lined up like so. You gotta line it up straight, and that's how we're gonna glue it together, okay? So right now, I'm gonna worry about gluing the top first. And again, I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I kind of eyeball where it can go. Okay, and we're going to put that up like so. And I'm using my little screws there to make it kind of straight, okay? And then I'm going to take this and get it lined up straight, like you can see where I'm getting it lined up with the Lost Lagoon and the Lost Lagoon, okay? Then I'm going to take a little bit of glue and put it here, just like that, just a little bit. And we're going to just bring the card down closed on it and press it down. And then there you see we got our split front card, okay? But we're not quite done yet, almost, but not quite. We are going to take a scrap piece of white and our Poppy Parade. Let's close up our glue. And this is where we got the You're the Most Awesome from the Trusty Tools dies, or stamp set. And we are going to stamp on this this scrap piece of white. You're the Most Awesome. And I always like to give it a second or two just to make sure the ink transfers to the paper. And there it is, it's perfect. And clean my stamp, because reds really tend to stain your stamps, but that just shows that a stamp is well loved if it's stained. Okay, there's that. Then we're gonna need our Stampin' Cutting Emboss machine again, the mini machine. And like I said, I got this last year for free when I joined Stampin' Up! During celebration. Okay, and then we are going to use, the next thing we're going to use to cut this out is going to be the countryside corners. What did I do with my mats? There they are. Okay. We're going to use countryside corners, which is available in the main catalog. And you can see it comes with all these dies, okay? I'm going to use the littlest in the center of those dies. And let's get our plates in here. And we're going to put you put your cardstock down first. With you got blaze plate 1 and one of the cutting plates, number 2. And then we're going to put our die down. Don't really have to tape this one down because it's not, but I do just in case, because it never fails. If I don't, it'll move on me while I'm trying to run it through the machine. And then you just run it through and cut that out. Okay. So, and that was, like I said, the countryside corners dies. And it comes as a bundle with a stamp set, but I'm not using the stamp set today. So there's my little tag. I'll put that in my magnet bowl, and that's done. Close this up and get it out of the way. So now let's bring our card back in, and we're gonna put this up on dimensionals. You know, guy cards are a little hard because guys don't like all the fuss and muss and bling, but I think everybody likes a fancy card, and I think everybody likes to show that you took the time to make a card to show them just how much you love them. So we put 3 dimensionals on that. That's one thing, I've never been skimpy with my dimensionals. I err on the side of too many is not enough. Okay, so there, we're gonna put this right down here. You're the most awesome. And then on the inside it says happiest of birthdays. So there's that. But we're not quite finished yet. I'm one that says there should be no such thing as a naked envelope. I like to decorate my envelopes. So we're going to bring back in our Lost Lagoon and our little nuts and bolts and screws. And we are going to just stamp some nuts and bolts and screws down here at the bottom. Just kind of turning the paper or the stamp, and we will decorate the bottom of our envelope. See if I can get that lined up. There we go. And that looks good. So there's our envelope and our card, ready to go to the man in your life for his birthday. And the inside of the card. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. And every time you do, that kind of gets the YouTube algorithms, whatever those are, it gets them out there to where my videos will be seen more. And I appreciate you having the patience with me, and hopefully that as I go on, these will get better and better. So we will see you next Monday for another masculine cards. And until then, God bless you and have a great week. Bye-bye.